Let's go to Nick DiCarlo right here. What's going on in your head, man? Like, to people, you don't have a chance probably to talk to everybody you've known. People might be curious about what's going on in your life. Let's just get into your head for a second. Like, yeah, what are you feeling about all of this for real?
Well, I mean, the amount of love and support I have is insane. And, it is a shame. I don't have time to talk to everyone and thank them for how they're helping me, how they've been helping me and everything through this. But the love and support has been unreal. As far as what's going on in the head, I tend to not really think about things till they're happening. I mean, it was kind of dark. Like I said, last 2 years not knowing what's going to happen. Now that I know it's 4 years, it's like, whatever. Mysteries, the secret's out, mystery solved. Yeah, there's nothing ominous anymore. I know what I'm facing, and I'm going to take it head on.
Well, yeah, taking it head on is the way to go. And I know that, like you said, just a question. I mean, do you want people to write you as well? Are you looking for communication?
Yeah, I'm not that good at writing, and my reading is pretty poor too. But write me anyway. I might, reply back with like crayon pictures or something, or I'll write me. I'll reply. Yeah, I'll have plenty of time to write back and everything, and yeah.
All right. And Mr. Oakes, I know that you are a man of stoicism, and you, like all men, for lack of better words, are suffering and struggling in your own ways, but you learn how to hold it together and to just confront things the way that a man is required to do so, which is to just, the only way through it is through it. But the same question goes to you. These are heavy things, and what do you want people to know? Like, I mean, what's really going on in your head? What's maybe the more vulnerable side, if you're willing to share that?
Yeah, why not? I never do this, by the way. You're right. It's not an act. It's not bravado. You really can't get me down with this. If I wanted to, I'm sure that I could have, I know I could have made a deal and got out of the whole thing. All right, let's say that. But that's a life sentence of its own. Forget that. To answer your question directly, the only part of this that was hard, I think I was the first person who was arrested out of like anybody, right? Because we're very photogenic people, and we had quite the image that floated around the press where we smoked a couple cigarettes inside the Capitol. I remain proud of it. There was a lot of paperwork in court about how DiCarlo had it framed in his house, and I send you high fives across the internet for that. But that being the case, when they grabbed me up, the FBI didn't raid my house or anything like that. They got me at the airport at the bag claim, which is what they do to verify it's you when you grab your bag. And I got thrown in max security in Hawaii, and you don't know anything in there, right? You don't get that phone call or whatever. So I was in there for a week, solitary, couldn't see a television out the window, anything like that. I didn't eat a bite, and I didn't know if I'd be in there for 50 years. You don't know if they're doing what they do and saying it's, a treasonous offense and get out the gallows, give you a life sentence, the same as like defecting to China. I didn't know if I'd ever hold my son again, and that was tough. But I got out of there, and I held my son again, and I haven't been bothered since.
Yeah, and not everyone is so lucky. I did want to bring this up, not to detract from you guys, but obviously you're informed. I mean, tell me about what you know about some of the guys still, without probation, still without bond. I mean, what's going on with other detainees and political prisoners that you know of right now?
Well, I think that there's a reason we're not in that boat is because we got grabbed up early. As I said, I was the first one, as far as I know. It didn't take them long to track down my co-defendant. Again, this is not like robbing a bank. It's not a mystery who was there or who did what. It's all how you interpret it. So the people that they grabbed up a bit later than us, who weren't quite as photogenic and on CNN that night, the media may have been really taking hold at that point. And if you know anything about how this country works, you know that affects what judges do. So they were much harsher. And I got treated normally, right? As a day one guy, they gave me $5,000 bond. It was a trespassing charge. I mean, I got thrown in federal prison, solitary confinement on a trespassing charge. That's not normal. But once I got out of there after a week, it was pretty much normal court stuff, right? I didn't even wear an ankle monitor, stuff like that. I'm not going to escape to Bolivia. I think they know that. Now, a month later, whatever it was for Dick, they gave him harsher stuff. He got the ankle monitor. They banned him from the internet, all that stuff. And then guys who got arrested after that, well, now they're locked up. And then they've been locked up the whole time because the media affects the mood of the nation and the mood of the judiciary. And I think that's why a lot of guys are in there who didn't do anything any more notable than any MAGA grandma that wandered through the flag. But they have ties to whatever distasteful group you can point to or whatever it is. They want to make an example of some people. They certainly made an example of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nick, you were going to add a little more to that.
Yeah, it was. I never thought, just for taking a self-guided tour through the Capitol and not being able to find an ashtray in there, that I'd be greeted with 15 ARs pointed at my face, given an ankle monitor, a curfew on top of that. Just retarded. Like, they already know where you are. Why do you have to be in at a certain time? But the way they're treating a lot of these other defendants is it's insane. I believe Ethan Nordean's trial has recently started. I'm not sure how that's going, but I mean, he's been in jail with no bond or anything for, since he got popped maybe a month after I did. And there's others, in similar situations. They've just been held. And they're not dangerous people. These aren't dangerous people, but they're, being treated like we're all being treated like this is 9/11 Part 2,
Right. They didn't do anything different than anybody. I mean, it's in our court documents. We showed up, and they made a big deal that I bear hugged old Ethan Nordean in the Capitol. Yeah, guilty. I did that. I hugged the guy.
Guilty of hugging,
now,
huh?
He's and then it's he's locked up. But again, he got grabbed up a bit after us. I think if they had arrested me a month or two later, I'd be in jail the whole time. It's
and they're giving them like maximum security. Yeah, they're giving them harsh conditions too, like as if they're like.
Well, that's what happens if you're pretrial. Yeah, if you're pretrial and you're not on release, then you get sent to a harsher place in general. It's when you got convicted or guilty plea or whatever. And if you're a nonviolent first offender, then by the rules, you should go to a minimum security work camp. Looks like I'm not so lucky, even though the rules, say what they are. But for guys that are awaiting trial, you end up with just everybody. That's just how the system works. That's not particularly unusual. What is unusual is that they'd be waiting trial for 2 freaking years for trespassing.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a part of your life that may actually end up causing more of a wreck in your home than anything. And yes, I'm talking about your dog's guts. We all know that dogs have sensitive guts, and sometimes they're diarrheaing, they're feeling lethargic, and we feed them food. It's really hard to know what to give them. Some food's more expensive than others. But what if I told you in mostly every food there is a specific ingredient that is toxic, that is poisonous, and maybe the number one cause of why your dog is not only possibly ending his life early, but feels so lethargic? Yeah, I'm talking about meat meal. This is a mystery meat product. One of the number one ingredients in most food. It's made of spoiled foods and meat packaging. It's disgusting. So if you love your dog, or if you know someone who does, you need to get the link in the description right now, because Dr. Marty has figured out an exact way to create food and to expose this ingredient that actually works for you. Now, if you want to find food that does not contain this ingredient, and you want to order food that will make your dog happy, healthy, and love you, because you love them. They're so good to us. We really do love our little best friend.
Make sure you grab the link, and this Christmas, make sure you get some for your family. Let your family members know, please, right now. Go to dogfoodexposed.com/offensive. Click the link in the description, dogfoodexposed.com/offensive. Dogfoodexposed.com/offensive. Right now to find out what this ingredient is, if it's in your food, and how to find the food that will actually work for your dog and for the dogs around you. Get the link in the description.